Okay, welcome to the Master Mixing course preview class. So this is really going to be just a preview of the whole 8-week course. And what I plan to do really here is to just give you an overview of what to expect over the course of the next 8 weeks. So the actual first class begins on July 10th, which will be every Wednesday. Today, this would normally be on Wednesday evening, except for the holiday, July 4th, because I normally have classes on Wednesday and Thursday evenings. And it's Tuesday today because of just moving things back for the holiday to accommodate there. So the normal mixing course will start next Wednesday, July 10th, and that'll be the first of 8 consecutive weeks that'll run through the month of July and all the way through the month of August. And over the course of those 8 weeks, we're really going to go over and break down all the different elements that make up mixing and how mixes are going to work. Now, one thing that is, I will make an announcement about here, and this is a thing that I'm changing basically for the future right now, is that all the classes will now be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time instead of 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So they will be 1 hour earlier, and so that is sort of a long story. I won't get into a whole big thing about that, but basically, that is really just mostly due to requests from people who are have been part of the school for a long time, and so it's just a matter of convenience. There are people who tune in from all over the world, from Singapore, from Australia, from Germany, from England. We have people that are tuning in from Africa. So we have people tuning in from Brazil. We have most of the continents covered here, so it might be a good thing if there's good internet connection in Antarctica. I don't know about that, but at the post down there. But if we can get somebody from down there, I think we might be able to wrap this whole world up and get it all together. But anyway, the basic idea is that the time is actually almost doesn't matter. One thing that you need to know, if you don't already know, if you have not tuned into the workshop classes before, of course, you may not be able to make them. And so you want to make sure that if you go to mpginsider.com, which is the main website, from there on the left tab up near the top, there's a link for the newsletter. And you want to make sure that you sign up for the online class announcements. And so if you do that, then what ends up happening in the online class announcements is that you will get emails the day of, just announcing the classes, the schedule for the week, and you'll also get links for the replay in case you missed the class. So that way, if you weren't able to make it, you can go back and you can watch what's going on. So after tonight's class, there will be links that will be posted. I will also be posting these particular videos on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and you can also link to that through the website. And I'll pass that link out as well, when that comes up. So you can tune in there. And I also post stuff. I'm going to start posting things more regularly there on my YouTube channel. That will be just sort of excerpts of different things and different classes that I teach. So it'll be kind of a cool thing to tune in if you just sort of want this sort of, spotted, bits of educational information about mixing, about mastering, Waves plugins, home recording, fundamentals of recording audio, all these different courses that I have that are part of the website. So you guys can tune into that, and John is posting some links there in the chat. Okay, so there you have it. Let's get straight on to it. This is just the introduction, and let's just kick it off. Okay, so in the mixing course, class 1, the first thing that I'm going to cover here is the structure of mixing. And I'm going to show you a little bit of some things here about audio that I think are really important. And the way that the structure of this particular class and in this particular course, and really all the courses, is that if you go to the main website, and I'll just sort of link that out here quickly for you, right? So if I just sort of link that up. So just mpginsider.com, and that will bring you off to the main page here. And when you go here, the way that you actually access all of the materials, just so you know, and this is really, I'm going to continue this as part of the introduction, really, because this is really what this is. If you go over here to the tab under the online courses, under the mixing tab, you'll get the basic course description. And what that'll do is that'll give you just the basic information about the whole layout. I'm putting together right now a launch page for the mixing workshop, and that will make it a bit more organized. You can go to one page, and that will allow you to link to every lesson and every video. But for the time being, what we have here is the link structure. The way it works is if you go to the mixing tab, then you will be able to select the individual classes. So if you click on this link for class 1, then what it'll do is you will be able to see the replay of the video for that class. So currently, the existing video for this class I'm going to show you in a second is from the last time I gave the course, which was back earlier this year. I believe in February I started it. And so from there, what you'll notice is you'll have the replay, and then there will be 5 lessons that will be split off from that. So for each class, for example, for the structure of mixing, we'll go over the individual topics, which is the historical perspective, a visual approach to audio, listening environment and speaker setup, organizing your session in the 3-tier mix structure, and preparing to mix. So these are kind of giving you just the basic layout of all the, these are the additional materials that go along with class 1. And so there are downloadable audio programs, because I talk about acoustics in this class, and especially in the visual approach to audio. So I'm just going to open up that link. And then, each class as you go along, like the next is the mixing process. And then we'll start by setting up your mix, doing levels and panning, phase and phase relationship, working with filters and subtractive EQ. Then we go on to dynamic processing, right? So we'll talk all about compressors in the individual lessons. So basically the way it lays out, just so you understand, is that these classes here are the actual replays, right, for each of the live classes that I give, just what I'm doing now. And then there are 5 lessons which add on to this material. So if you look at the existing videos, it'll look like this. So when you open up that class 1 page, you will see a couple of videos here. Now, as I do this, I'm actually have been dividing them up into shorter videos, because it's a 2-hour class. You could see here, this is a 65-minute video and a 70-minute video. So there's over 2 hours just of information just on this topic, and I could blab on forever about it, but just so you have the basic idea. And then if I opened up from the mixing course here, just one of the individual lessons, which I did, which is the visual approach to audio, then you have this here. And so these are videos that will talk about the 3D sound field. How does it work? How to use the mix mapping worksheet. Here there are downloadable audio programs. So you can click on the download link, right? And that will give you access to those audio programs. And then there are links to the other lessons that are part of that particular page. So what I'm going to do here, Harish, just to answer your question here, and just to give you an idea, completely of what's going on here, is that if you go over to the mixing tab on the left, then clicking on where it says class 1 replay, that will give you the replay of class 1. That will give you the replay of class 2, the replay of class 3. I will add in another link here, which will be the intro class, which most likely I'll put those materials into the course description, because this way there'll be videos that sort of describe each individual section of the course, and that will be that. So those of you guys who are just watching the video and don't see the chat, I have a chat off on another window, and so as you're taking the course, you can actually ask questions via the chat, and we can also connect up via audio if you choose to ask questions that way, and then you would be able to actively participate and ask questions if you don't understand something that I'm displaying on the screen. So what I will leave here, the live class replay page, this is all of the replays, all of the replay videos. So this will show you, this is 16 hours of video just about mixing. And so this will be, I'm going to keep this as an archive of the original lessons that I gave the last time around. And the reason is that for this particular workshop, I'm going to take a different approach. The reason is that a lot of the live class material is redundantly talked about in the individual lessons. So what I'm going to do for this course with each individual class is I'm going to talk a bit about the concept of what we're talking about, and then I'm going to demonstrate it. So everything is going to be audio related. In other words, I'll be pulling up an actual mix that will happen over the course of all 8 weeks, and that way you can see every level of it in process. So in other words, if I'm talking about subtractive EQ, not only will I be performing subtractive EQ on, say all the tracks in a mix or in a section of the mix, but in addition to doing the subtractive EQ, I'll be giving you a voiceover. So I'll be telling you what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm hearing, right? Now, when you go through all of this, and thanks for pointing that out, John, there are over 60 videos, right? Just support videos that go along with all these individual lessons. So, there is something on the order of like 40 hours of video that's out there in terms of information. So there's loads of information, and you can kind of take your time, going through those materials and try to keep up. Now, in addition to all of this, and this may or may not be the song that I'm working on, but there is also down at the very bottom here is the what I just called the mix session section, and I'll probably change the name. But at the very bottom of this list, if you open up that link, then what it does is it gives you access to a download, right? So if you click on here on the Flyaway multi-track download, then you will download a multi-track song, and you can import the audio files. I set it up with all the instructions, with the tempo and everything, so you can download that multi-track file, and you can kind of follow along with the mixing course and apply all the techniques and things that I'm talking about as we're going along. And actually in this series, there's also a series of videos that show me setting up the mix, showing me doing levels and panning, showing me doing subtractive EQ, basic compression on that song, advanced compression techniques, early reflections, etc. Right? So those are the videos that are there. And so you can get to that just again by going to the mixing tab, and at the very bottom, the mix session section. I don't know, I purposely made that a seashells by the seashore kind of thing, just so you can kind of get to that. So anyway, I'm going to be mixing a song that's still yet to be determined. So I'm still hunting for that perfect multi-track song to mix. So if you have one, submit it to me, and maybe I'll make it part of the workshop. Ideally, what I'd like to do is to make that downloadable so that all of you guys that are actually taking the workshop can download the multi-track, and you can kind of follow along with what I do. Because it's one thing to watch somebody do something. It's a completely different experience when you go about the process of actually doing it yourself, right? So, and that I think is really, really important, is more than anything, right? Is that unless you actually put your hands on it and put your ears to it and actually do it yourself, then it doesn't really mean anything. You'll learn something intellectually, but you have to do it ultimately, right, in order for it to work. Okay, so anyway, this is going to be the new conclusion of the master mixing course, introduction to the introduction class, I guess, is or preview class. And so let's move on and let's talk about kind of go through this step by step.